Grampian TV Studios opened in Aberdeen in 1962 with a whole new field of entertainment on ITV, and the choice of two-channel television meant fast dwindling attendances and certain doom for the Regal cinema, Macduff. What the public never see, a look behind the scenes.
As the only cinema in town, many people protested strongly at a possible shutdown. But after running at a considerable loss for some time, the owners, J.B. Mill Theatres Limited, were forced to close it down in July.
Just for some reporting.
The Regal Macduff was now officially closed and converted to a bingo club. Most of the Cine and sound film equipment was moved to the picture house at Banff, which was to suffer the same fate only 6 years later.
If for nothing else, 1963 will certainly be remembered by many in Macduff for the Battle of the Clock.
After years with the old town clock stopped, it was agreed by all that something would have to be done. The old timepiece was now a rusty heap of metal.
The town council had a quotation of £1,000 for a new one.
With the prospect of the cost going on the already high rates, was rejected by the town council, so a private committee was formed.
To raise the money somehow. All of 60 feet up, and no ropes, no platform, and look, no hands. By now, the money is really beginning to roll in. One donation comes from as far away as Canada. The lady members of the committee do a wonderful job of keeping the collection boxes going. The secretary of the committee, Mr. Albert Wilson, and Bailey John Herd, who is the convener, give their time, public address, amplifier and van to announce a jumble sale. A new quotation of £644 was received for an electrically wound clock and was immediately accepted. Things are really happening fast now. The business of hoisting the 1500 mechanism to the top is accomplished like an everyday job for Mr. John Gorn. And some pretty tricky weather conditions too. He supervises a job himself. And the two faces are cemented in. Retired joiner Mr. Hutchison made and gifted the plaque you see now. For him, perhaps, it's a much more personal thing. For John's grandfather actually had a hand in building the clock tower. by the Reverend Graham Walker, and it seems like the whole town had turned out for the occasion. Committee convener Bailey Heard gives a short speech. Yes, still going. And presents the keys of the clock tower to the Macduff Council, represented by Provost R. Henry.
Who could forget Posty Roy Beatty? 6:30 a.m. and he's on the job as usual. But retiring after 45 years service, this will be his last day delivering the mail. Hard to believe you could send a letter almost anywhere then for threepence. Old money, that is. And we also had a post office there. Not just a sub-post office. Mrs. Duncan of Church Street gets up especially early to wish him good luck on his retirement. Five years would seem like a long time, even by today's standards, to build a school, but Macduff's new school was no ordinary one. So many changes were made in the plans and completion dates, some folks said, in all seriousness, that the school would never be completed. But at long last, spring 1964, saw the opening of what was supposed to be one of the finest schools in Banffshire. A familiar figure to students of Macduff High, Mr. James Baxter, rector, supervised building operations from the start and helped greatly in the organization of classrooms, equipment, and all the 101 problems connected with a project of this kind. Officially confirmed, we suspect at first anyway, the teachers were supplied with compasses, maps, and enough food to keep them going for a day or two. (1964) was the end of the line for Banff Harbour Station. After the closing down of the Macduff Railway a few years earlier, it was particularly sad to hear that Banff was next for the Ministry of Transport, Dr. Beecham's axe.
But as more and more people acquired motor cars, so the Banff-Dillinot train was less and less used.
Just a year earlier, the line was lifted at Macduff, so there was no chance of a reprieve there. The hopes were high that the Banff line would be kept on.
enjoyed the thrill of a trip on the friendly Tilly North Express down the 6-mile stretch of track from Banff to Tilly North, then you have indeed missed something special.
For more than a century, trains have puffed up and down this few miles of track, making the journey 7 or 8 times every day.